Yo, we got Mencho. His last 24 hours before he passed away. I don't know if I said it right, but Mencho's last 24 hours before he died. And I've been seeing a lot of shit on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube about him, and I really don't know much about him. So that's why I'm going ahead and doing a reaction to this video, because I just want to figure it out. So yeah, before this video start, man, make sure y'all drop a like, drop a sub, help me reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers on this bitch, and let's go ahead and get into the video.
February 22nd, 2026, 4 a.m., the mountains of southern Jalisco, Mexico. Somewhere in the dark, in a compound carved into the Sierra, the most wanted drug lord alive is sleeping. Two governments have been hunting him for over a decade.
Damn, motherfucker been hunting him for a decade, though? It's crazy. Bruh, that's a long ass time for somebody to be hunting you. Like, I'm just being honest.
The DEA has a $15 million bounty on his head.
15 million goddamn buckaroonies. Hey, whoever ratted him out, I ain't even lie. I know they over here enjoying themselves right now.
One of the largest in the history of American law enforcement. Interpol knows his name. The CIA has drones in the sky above his country. And still, for years, this man has been a ghost. Fewer than 3 confirmed photographs of him exist, all of them decades old. In every intelligence briefing, every wanted poster, every classified file, the same grainy image of a man nobody can find. His name is Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes.
Or Mencho.
The world knows him as El Mencho.
El
By
Mencho.
sunrise, he will be wounded and bleeding in a military aircraft, dying somewhere above the Mexican highlands. By nightfall, 6 states will be on fire. This is his last 24 hours.
But I ain't gonna even lie though. That shit just crazy as hell how Mexico or the cartel just stepping behind their leader though. Like, that shit crazy as hell. Like, them folks ain't playing about them.
1966, a village buried deep in the mountains of Michoacan, Mexico. No electricity, no paved roads. A place so remote, most maps don't bother naming it. That's where Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes.
Is this his son or some shit? Like, what the fuck? Why they got? Oh, they probably a child. They probably got her blood.
Was born on the 17th of July. He never made it past the 5th grade. By the time other kids were learning to read, he was in the fields, picking avocados under the Michoacan sun, one of 6 brothers in a family that had nothing. This was Tierra Caliente, the hot land, a region where the 2 things that grow best are avocados and organized crime. He left before he was 20, crossed the border illegally into California. No papers, no plan, just hunger. 1986, San Francisco.
Got arrested.
A teenager gets picked up by police. Stolen property, a loaded firearm. The booking photo shows a kid who looks barely old enough to shave. Not a kingpin, not a threat, just another undocumented migrant caught in the wrong place. They deported him. He came back. 1989, arrested again, narcotics this time. Deported again. He came back again.
The Mexicans don't play this shit. They gonna keep coming back. They don't get no fuck. Every time they get deported or go to jail, hey, we back again next week. That's it. We back again next week, man. Fuck that. Fuck Mexico. I'm not saying fuck Mexico, but I'm saying that's how the Mexicans be. They be like, fuck, you know, fuck being out here where I'm from. I'm trying to be in the United States.
September of 1992, he was 26 years old and moving low-level heroin in the Bay Area with his older brother Abraham. One night, the 2 brothers walked into the Imperial Bar on San Francisco's rough edge of the Tenderloin to close a deal. 5 ounces of heroin, $9,500. The buyers paid in clean bills, too clean, too neat, stacked perfectly the way real street money never is. Nemesio noticed. He told Abraham, "These men are cops. Walk away." He was right. It was already too late. 3 weeks later, federal agents arrested both brothers on drug trafficking charges. In court, Nemesio made the choice that would define everything that followed. Abraham already carried 2 felony convictions. A third would likely mean life. So Nemesio pleaded guilty, took the weight, protected his brother. He told the court by all accounts to give him the minimum. She gave him 5 years. He served 3 at Big Spring Correctional Center in West Texas, a federal prison built to house undocumented immigrants. 1997, deported back to Mexico, 31 years old, convicted felon, banned from the United States for life.
Damn, no for like banned from the United States from life. Damn, I ain't know they be banning motherfuckers for real, for real. Like, I guess if you keep catching felonies and shit, it's over with. Like, you can't come back, huh?
Most men in that position disappear into the margins. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes did something nobody saw coming. He became a cop, joined the local police.
How the fuck he become a police, though? I guess in Mexico, they don't really give a fuck, especially if his charges in the United States, but how the fuck?
Force in Cabo Corrientes and Tomatlan, Jalisco, wore the uniform, carried the badge. DEA Special Agent Kyle Morey, who would later lead the American investigation from Los Angeles, understood exactly what that period meant. Mencho wasn't rehabilitating. He was studying, learning how law enforcement.
But my thing is, though, I feel like no matter what jail you go to, and I don't know about these other countries and shit like that, but in the United States and Mexico and shit, this jail shit ain't about rehabilitation. Like, I promise you that shit not. That shit is about strictly punishment and keep bringing your ass back. You know what I'm saying? This shit about strictly punishment, not rehabilitation.
Thought,
promise you
how
it ain't.
Moved, how it could be bought. Every shift was intelligence. He left the force, joined the Milenio cartel as a sicario. When Sinaloa Capo Nacho Coronel was killed in 2010 and Milenio leader Oscar Valencia was arrested, the structure fractured. El Mencho didn't fracture with it. He declared war on Sinaloa, partnered with his wife's family, the Gonzalez Valencia money laundering network, and built something entirely new from the wreckage. He called it the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. CJNG, within a decade, it had presence in all 50 American states and more than 40 countries. By 2019, the DEA assessed El Mencho's cartel was moving at least 1/3 of all drugs entering the United States. His personal net worth, at minimum 500.
Damn, 500 million goddamn buckaroonies. God, fuck, damn, man, that fast?
$100 million, potentially over $1 billion. The Mexican government estimated CJNG's total assets at $50 billion. In February 2025, the Trump administration designated it a foreign terrorist organization. The avocado picker from Michoacan had built a narco empire that outranked most countries' economies, and nobody could find him.
But I ain't gonna even lie though, these drug lords be so goddamn rich. I see why a lot of that shit be tempting as hell, cause bro, 500 million, like bro, what the fuck? Motherfucker never see that shit working a regular job. Like, god damn. The ghost. That man was a ghost. He wasn't letting up off shit.
El Chapo.
Got El Chapo
Wanted to be a legend. He gave interviews to Sean Penn in the jungle. He had corridos written about him. He wore his name like a crown. El Mencho wanted to be invisible. No interviews, no photographs, no public appearances. In over a decade,
and that's really how he stayed on the run for so long too, though, because he like a ghost. Like, don't nobody know he really. I mean, besides these couple pictures they got, don't nobody really know what he looked like. He ain't got no pictures, or can't nobody really get to him for real.
The most wanted man in the Western Hemisphere. Fewer than 3 confirmed images of him exist. All of them old, all of them grainy. The only time the public ever heard his voice was through leaked audio recordings, expletive-filled messages sent to rivals, threats delivered from a face nobody could see. Organized crime expert Edgardo Buscaglia of Columbia University put it plainly. El Mencho's Jalisco New Generation Cartel was one of the biggest buyers of politicians and political campaigns, which has given it an enormous social base. Power without visibility, that was the strategy. He moved constantly through the sierras of Jalisco, Michoacan, Colima, and Nayarit, never sleeping in the same location for long. Around him, two rings of security, an inner circle of former military mercenaries, an outer ring of lookouts spread across the mountain roads, watching for anything that moved. For years, it worked. Then came the violence that made hiding harder. May 2015, Mexican Army forces launched a military operation in Jalisco. El Mencho's men responded by firing a rocket-propelled grenade at an Army helicopter, blowing it out of the sky. He bought himself time to disappear into the Sierra. In a single 6-week stretch that same year, CJNG killed 24 police officers across western Mexico.
Damn, and I ain't gonna even lie though. They making it seem like Mexico ain't got no type of like good police force, army force, or none to stop these cartels either though, which is the craziest shit though.
Not as a battle, as a message. 5 years later, he sent a bigger one. June 26, 2020, 7 a.m. Mexico City. On Reforma Avenue, one of the most famous boulevards in Latin America, a convoy of CJNG gunmen ambushed Mexico City Police Chief Omar Garcia Harfuch.
Damn, even the police chief ain't even safe in that motherfucker. Damn. Yeah, they weren't playing with his ass. Damn.
Grenades, high-powered rifles.
Grenades too? God damn.
Harfuch took 3 bullets. 2 bodyguards and a civilian bystander were killed. He survived. From his hospital bed, still bloodied, Harfuch posted on Twitter and named CJNG directly. He recovered. He didn't forget. By 2026, Omar Garcia Harfuch was Mexico's Secretary of Security. The man El Mencho tried to kill was now the man coordinating the operation to kill him. When news broke that El Mencho was dead, Harfuch posted a single line on X, "Our recognition to the Mexican Army and Air Force." No speech, no triumph, just 4 words, 6 years of waiting compressed into one sentence. While El Mencho was making enemies, his body was betraying him. As early as 2019, Mexican intelligence had confirmed he was suffering from serious kidney failure. Kidney disease doesn't care how many soldiers you command. It demands treatment, dialysis, medication, constant monitoring. In the mountains, that's not easy to manage quietly. His solution was to build a private hospital deep inside CJNG-controlled territory.
I wonder why he just ain't get like why he just ain't get like some doctors or something and pay the doctors to take care of him or get all the things that he need if he got all that fucking money. So I'm pretty sure he can probably pay a doctor a couple millions. Down there 3-4 million, probably even a meal. And they would have made sure he was good.
In the remote village of El Alcihuatl, in the municipality of Villa Purificacion, roughly 50 kilometers from the nearest town, he constructed a medical facility for his personal use. As recently as February 2025, Mexico's Security Secretary publicly confirmed the kidney disease was ongoing. Here is the question that investigators would have been asking. Kidney treatment creates a schedule. A schedule creates patterns. Patterns can be tracked. Whether that is how they ultimately found him has never been officially confirmed, but it is the thread that intelligence agencies were pulling. By 2022, Insight Crime reported he hadn't been seen in years. Splinter factions were claiming he was already dead. The cartel was fracturing at the edges. And then, in the 15 months before his death, his family disappeared, one by one. November 2024, his son-in-law, El Gaucho, arrested in Riverside, California, a man El Mencho had personally helped fake his own death to protect.
Don't fall faking deaths and everything, god damn.
February 27th, 2025, his brother Antonio, known as El Tony Montana, extradited to the United States. One day later, February 28th, his brother Abraham Don Rodo was recaptured by the Mexican army. The same Abraham he had gone to federal prison to protect in 1992. March 2025, his son El Menchito, sentenced to life plus 30 years in U.S. federal court, ordered to forfeit over $6 billion. February 2025, his wife Rosalinda, released from Mexican prison and immediately placed under surveillance every person
How the fuck she get out of jail though? Like, what the fuck?
who knew his location, every person who held his money, every person who could find him in the mountains, arrested, extradited, or watched. By February 2026, he was the last one standing, and he was sick, and he was alone. December 2024. The United States Department of State quietly raised the reward for information, leading to El Mencho's capture from $10 million to $15 million. It was the largest narco bounty in active circulation. Somewhere in the mountains of Jalisco, the price on his head had just gone up 50%. Nobody came forward, not yet. January 2026. Washington announced the formal launch of the Joint Interagency Task Force Counter Cartel, a U.S. military-led intelligence unit with a single operational mandate.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot of money. I think somebody had to snitch him out. If he been hiring for this fucking long, bro, no folk had to snitch him out, cuz. Like, what in the fuck, though? 15 million buckaroonies? God damn.
Mapped cartel networks on both sides of the border and dismantled their leadership. El Mencho sat at the very top of their target list. What was happening in the background was more significant than any press release. According to Reuters, the CIA had been conducting secret drone flights over Mexican territory, feeding real-time intelligence on cartel movements to Mexican forces. A former U.S. official told Reuters that the United States had compiled what intelligence agencies call a target package for El Mencho, a dossier combining law enforcement intelligence, signals intelligence, and human intelligence, and handed it directly to the Mexican government. This wasn't cooperation. This was a coordinated hunt. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum was caught in a bind she couldn't escape. Throughout her political career, she had publicly criticized the kingpin strategy, the doctrine of targeting and eliminating cartel bosses. Her argument was straightforward and backed by history. Decapitation doesn't kill a cartel, it fractures it, and a fractured cartel produces more violence, not less. She had said this publicly, repeatedly, but the Trump administration was applying pressure that Mexico could not easily absorb. Tariff threats, military posturing, diplomatic ultimatums. El Mencho had become political currency, the trophy that would prove Mexico was serious about its side of the border. The trap was set, and the operation moved forward. Now, Tapalpa. If you look at Tapalpa on a map, it reads like a postcard. A small colonial mountain town 2 hours southwest of Guadalajara. White stone churches, pine forests, cobblestone streets, a weekend escape for wealthy tapatillos, the kind of place tourists photograph and cartels launder money through quietly. That last part is documented. In September 2015, nearly a decade before the operation, the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned specific CJNG businesses operating in Tapalpa. Among them, a rental cabin operation identified as a front for cartel money. El Mencho's organization had roots in that town for 10 years. He wasn't hiding there randomly. He was hiding there because he had always been there. By the evening of February 21st, 2026, Mexican Army Special Forces had confirmed intelligence placing El Mencho in the Tapalpa area.
Yeah, somebody had to snitch that he always been there. Cause it just ain't no way. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't no way how he knew he was there. Somebody had to snitch.
The operation was authorized
that's just what I'm sticking
at the
to.
highest levels of both governments. Soldiers were moving into position before midnight. Here is what we don't know and what may never be confirmed. We don't know how they found him. Was it a human informant? Someone
It got to. It have to,
who
literally.
decided $15 million was worth more than loyalty to a dying boss? Was it signals intelligence, a phone, a radio, a pattern of communications that broke his cover? Was it the medical treatment? Dialysis doesn't happen in the dark. Equipment moves, people talk. Was it someone from his inner circle? Someone arrested? Someone pressured? Someone who chose survival over silence? The Mexican Ministry of Defense has not said. The CIA has not said. Nobody has said. What we know
But they really probably just trying to protect whoever snitched on them too, though. They're who they trying to protect.
is this.
Slick,
the
on the
objective,
slick.
on the record, from the official statement of Mexico's Ministry of Defense, was to capture him alive. They planned to take him breathing. That is not what happened. Sunday, February 22nd, 2026, before sunrise, Tapalpa, Jalisco, Mexican Army Special Forces moved in from multiple positions simultaneously. National Guard units held the perimeter. Mexican Air Force assets were overhead. Intelligence personnel from the Attorney General's office were embedded in the operation. This was not a raid improvised in the field. This was months of preparation, converging on a single point in the dark. The moment troops breached the compound, CJNG fighters opened fire. What followed was a sustained firefight in the Sierra.
Damn, look how many people. God damn.
4 CJNG operatives were killed at the scene. 2 were arrested. 3 others were gravely wounded. Among them, the man the operation had been built to find. When the shooting stopped, soldiers moved through the compound. Armored vehicles, rocket launchers capable of bringing down aircraft, heavy arms stockpiled in the mountains like a small army's arsenal. And in the wreckage of the firefight, wounded and in custody, Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, El Mencho.
So he was alive, but he ended up dying like on the way to the hospital, whatever the fuck they were gonna take him.
Finally in the hands of the Mexican state. 3 members of the Mexican armed forces were wounded in the exchange. Standard protocol for a capture of this magnitude meant one thing: transfer immediately to Mexico City. A military aircraft was prepared. El Mencho, wounded, bleeding, was loaded aboard. The plan was federal custody, interrogation, the full weight of the Mexican justice system. He never arrived. Somewhere above the mountains of Jalisco, en route to the capital, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes died from his wounds. The man who had spent over a decade evading every government on earth died in the air in the custody of the army he had spent years humiliating. The man who shot down a military helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade to escape the Mexican army in 2015 was transported by the Mexican army's own aircraft. He didn't make it off the plane. In Mexico City,
He didn't make it off the plane. Like, what the fuck happened? What, they killed him or some shit? For what, they killed him because he didn't shot down a plane before? Like, what the fuck happened? I want to know what the fuck happened. Was he injured before he got on that motherfucker? What the fuck? He ain't make it off the plane.
Omar Garcia Harfoot, the man CJNG had shot 3 times on Reforma Avenue in 2020, opened his phone and posted 4 words on X: our recognition to the Mexican Army and Air Force. No speech, no press conference, no photograph, just 4 words from the man who had waited 6 years for this day. Then, Mexico started burning. Within hours, CJNG unleashed coordinated violence across 6 states. 21 highway blockades ignited across Jalisco alone by 3 in the afternoon. Vehicles set ablaze across Jalisco, Michoacan, Colima, Tamaulipas, Guanajuato.
I'm telling them folk weren't playing. They stepping behind their leader, bro. Them folk.
In Aguascalientes, Governor Pablo Lemus Navarro activated a code red state of emergency. Public transport suspended, schools canceled, civilians ordered to stay home. Guadalajara went silent. a city of 5 million people scheduled to host FIFA World Cup matches in June 2026, became a ghost town in an afternoon. Then gunmen entered the international airport.
Here go the
Travelers
airport shit.
abandoned their luggage and ran through the terminals. Delta, Alaska, American Airlines, Southwest, and Air Canada canceled all flights to Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara. A prison riot broke out in Puerto Vallarta. A jail guard
Damn, the
was
prison
killed.
riot too?
The U.S. State Department issued a shelter-in-place advisory for American citizens in Jalisco, Tamaulipas, Michoacán, Guerrero, and Nuevo León. From Washington, White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt confirmed that U.S. intelligence had provided support to the Mexican government. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau called El Mencho one of the bloodiest and most ruthless drug kingpins in history, then added, "The good guys are stronger than the bad guys." In Guadalajara, the streets were empty and the fires were still burning.
This shit crazy as hell though. I ain't gonna lie how much
Claudia
power motherfucker
Scheinbaum
can
had
have.
been saying it for years.
That's not even
Kingpin
in the
strategy
government though.
doesn't work. Cutting off the head of a cartel doesn't kill the body. It multiplies it. You remove one leader and 3 more emerge from the wreckage, each more ruthless than the last, each fighting to claim the territory left behind. She said it before she took office. She said it after. She built her security philosophy around the idea that chasing individual names was theater, not policy.
But I mean, some what that shit is true as hell because like you got plenty of motherfuckers ready to take that leader spot though for sure.
On February 22nd, 2026, under sustained pressure from the Trump administration to produce visible results on drug trafficking, President Claudia Scheinbaum authorized the operation that produced the biggest kingpin kill in the history of the Western Hemisphere. Her public statement that day was careful. She applauded the military. She called for calm. She emphasized that the rest of the country was functioning normally. She did not call it an assassination. The official position was precise. It was a capture operation that turned fatal, a legal, procedural distinction that mattered enormously to her government. By midnight, every news channel in the world was broadcasting footage of burning highways, empty airport terminals, and a ghost city that was supposed to host the FIFA World Cup in 4 months. The president who said killing cartel leaders was wrong had just overseen the killing of the biggest cartel leader alive, and she was watching her own warning come true in real time on every screen in the country before the night was over. The question that follows is the one nobody can answer yet. What happens to CJNG?
Man, the folks
Analysts
still
broadly agree
gonna
on one thing.
multiply.
It
They
survives.
still gonna thrive.
El Mencho built a deliberately decentralized structure, regional cells operating with significant autonomy, designed specifically so that no single arrest or death could collapse the whole. The organization is too embedded, too diversified, too global to simply stop existing because its founder is dead. Vonda Felbaugh Brown of the Brookings Institution put it plainly. Apart from the heads of the Sinaloa cartel, El Mencho has been the biggest prize for many, many years. A tremendous amount of violence is going to happen. One name has surfaced in intelligence reports as a potential successor, Abraham Jesus Ambriz Cano, known as El Yogurt, 29 years old.
El Yogurt. Who the fuck came up with this name? It's about some El fucking Yogurt. Man, you need a whooping for that shit. It's about some goddamn El Yogurt.
A Michoacan
El Yogurt, the yogurt.
commands a CJNG Special Forces cell linked directly to El Mencho's personal protection unit. He survived a major Mexican Navy raid in 2025 and has allegedly incorporated former Colombian and Guatemalan military personnel into his operation. This is not officially confirmed. It is the name being spoken quietly in the places where these things are discussed. The historical parallel is one your viewers already know. When Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was captured, the Sinaloa cartel did not collapse. It fractured. factions
Don't multiply.
turned on each other. Violence surged into the vacuum. The removal of the man created a war over what the man had controlled. CJNG, with
I ain't finna
operations
do shit
across
but
40
expand.
countries
I
and
ain't finna do
50
nothing but another
American
leader
states,
though. That's
has
it.
considerably more vacuum to fight over, which brings it back to the beginning, to a bar in San Francisco, 1992, a 26-year-old man standing in front of a federal judge, choosing to absorb a prison sentence to protect his older brother Abraham, choosing loyalty over freedom, walking into Big Spring Correctional Center in West Texas so that one person he loved would not spend his life behind bars. 33 years later, one of the final moves of the intelligence operation closing around El Mencho was the recapture of that same brother, Abraham Don Rodo, seized by the Mexican army on February 28, 2025. The brother he had gone to prison to protect, the brother who, in the end, could not protect him. He started with nothing, a village with no roads, a fifth-grade education, avocado fields in Michoacan. He built an empire that stretched across 40 countries, moved a third of the drugs entering the United States, and made two governments spend a decade and $15 million trying to find him. He went to prison for his brother, and in the mountains of Jalisco at dawn on a Sunday morning in February, it ended the way it always ends for men like him. In a firefight he couldn't escape.
That shit crazy. He said for about a $15 million. Yeah, I don't think the government or the United States gave up no 15 M's. I ain't gonna even lie to you. They probably just did this shit just to pay motherfuckers in so they can capture him. I don't feel like they gave motherfuckers that 15 M. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like they don't carry out their boundaries for real. Just me being 100. But hey, who knows? Who knows? You know? But yeah, it was a very interesting video, bro. I never even heard about this El Mencho dude. This is like when he got killed and they started putting this shit all on Facebook and Instagram. That's the first time I ever heard about him. And shit, they was fucking up the airport and shit. That's really what I seen when they was in the airport shooting and shit. But that shit crazy how somebody's able to get power like that and it's not even a government, bro. Like I still say this shit to this day, like from El Chapo to all them other drug kingpins, bro. This shit just crazy how motherfuckers get all this damn power, bro. All this money. Yeah, I don't know what to say. But shit, it is what it is. So I ain't really got much to say. I want to know how y'all feel about the video. But look, before y'all leave, man, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, help me reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers on this channel. And look, just let me know what videos I want me to react to, and I will get them for y'all. And come back every single day for some video. So yeah, but I'm gonna see y'all guys in the next video, guys. Peace.